Most people are living with a mind full of beliefs that aren't really theirs. These are things that have been passed down from parents and grandparents and teachers and everybody else around you as a little kid. And yet, many people still cling on to these beliefs. They cling on to these perceptions and opinions of the world as if they are theirs. And they've built their entire identity based on these beliefs. And for better or worse, these beliefs have influenced the exact person that they've become. And this gets me thinking, what would happen if everybody decided to step back from the noise, assess their deeply held beliefs, and change them accordingly to what they really believe to be true? How would this change their lives? How would this change society as a whole? That's what we'll be talking about in today's video. From birth until about age 8, your brain is the most neuroplastic. Neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to change and adapt and learn new things based on what you experience. And it happens very quickly, without much effort at all. The higher your neuroplasticity, the easier it is to learn and adapt to your situations that are happening all around you. And this is why, for example, children learn so quickly, why they can adapt to new environments and be around different people and learn languages and learn new instruments without much effort at all, because their brain is in this heightened learning state. Also, as a child between birth and 8 years old, you're more impressionable. You take what adults say as the absolute truth, even if they're completely wrong. And there are two main reasons why this is. Number one is because you have no frame of reference. You don't have any life experience. So you take what adults say as the absolute truth, and you just assume that what's happening around you and what you're being told is normal. And the second main reason why this is because you have an underdeveloped brain. The prefrontal cortex in every human, it doesn't fully develop until about the age of 24, 25 years old. So to expect a little kid to think rationally and critically is just completely bogus. Your experiences in these early years, they become deeply ingrained within you. Those beliefs are instilled within your very being. Those thoughts and perceptions you have that you've acquired from other people, they become your thoughts, they become your perceptions. And these things become so deeply ingrained within your subconscious mind that they essentially program you. These are the systems, the back-end systems, the code, you could put it, that makes up who you are. For better or for worse, your caregivers influence exactly who you become. The things you see, the places you live, what you believe to be true, these all shape the adult you are growing up. You might be thinking, am I just stuck with these beliefs that were ingrained in me as a child? Is there anything I can do to change them? Anything I can do to make them better serve me? Because the reality is that many of us are brought up with limiting beliefs or thoughts about the world that don't actually serve us. And as adults who are aware of this, as somebody who is watching this video, you're at least curious to know, okay, what can I do within my mind to create a better reality? How can I shift my beliefs and my perception? And how can I think more effective thoughts so that I can create the life that I enjoy living? My answer to this is yes, there are multiple things you can do to shift the way you perceive the world. There are multiple things you can do to shift your beliefs and your thoughts about your reality. But here's the thing. It means becoming consciously aware of the things that are happening deep within your subconscious mind. And that is no easy task. It means examining all those deeply held beliefs and thoughts about the world. And few people ever do this because, well, as I said, it's hard. People might begin to realize that their entire identity comes crumbling down. It just essentially erodes because all those thoughts and beliefs that they had aren't really true at all. And they realize that these things that I've believed to be true my entire life are just things that my parents told me, or things that my teachers told me. And I'm beginning to realize that all these thoughts and beliefs and opinions about the world and myself within the world aren't actually beneficial. This is terrifying to people, all right? This is the idea of ego death, which I know. That term ego death gets thrown around a lot, especially in the hippie space, in the spiritual space. And I'm not trying to go down that route. But think of ego death as when your sense of who you are, your sense of I, essentially vanishes. It temporarily dissolves, all right? Essentially, it's when that voice in your head that believes, okay, this is who I am, just shuts up. And this matters a lot for your beliefs because your beliefs are like defense structures that help you feel in control. They're like defense structures that help you experience certainty and maintain the identity that you believe you have. So when you question these deeply held thoughts and beliefs, you're essentially threatening your current sense of self. You're threatening your identity because your identity is what helps you feel safe and secure and like you're in control within this world you're living in. Now look, you don't need to experience this ego death when questioning your beliefs. You don't need to go that far. You can still question your thoughts and beliefs in these deeply ingrained perceptions of the world without losing your sense of self. And a great place to start with this is by looking for beliefs that create friction within your life. Now, you probably have a bunch of them. Some of the most common ones are things like, once I make more money, then I'll start doing more things that I enjoy. I hear that all the time with the work that I do. Another one is, if I slow down, I'll fall behind in my work and I'll lose. And another common one is, people only respect people who have success. These are deeply held beliefs that many of us inherit from parents, from society, from social media, our teachers, and all these other people and places and things that really do influence who we become as adults. From here, once you examine these deeply held beliefs that are causing friction within your life, you want to figure out what part of your identity needs those beliefs to be true. And this is where it gets very tough because few people ever dig deep enough to understand this. Few people ever pull back the layers. But don't stop there. You could even continue by stress testing these ideas. And what you want to do to stress test these ideas is look for evidence of these being true and essentially come up with reasons why they are not true within your life. As I said, you got to dig deep enough. You got to peel back the layers one by one by one. And what you'll find with this is that many of the things you've been brought up to believe to be true are simply not true. Or even if they're true to somebody else, they're just not serving you, so there's no sense in clinging on to those beliefs. There's no sense in believing what you've been believing for all these years. When you can be open and honest with yourself, when you can continue to examine these thoughts and these beliefs, then you can essentially create space for newer beliefs, newer thoughts that actually benefit you. And this is essentially a form of reality creation, because when you can change your thoughts, when you can change your beliefs about yourself within the world around you, then you're operating at a completely different level. Whereas most people are just living out the same programs that they've been taught for years and years and years, you're essentially the engineer who's writing the code of your life. And yeah, that's powerful. That's something that few people ever do. And at this point, if you're still watching this video, then you know exactly what it is you have to do. At this point, you just got to do it. So those are my thoughts. I'm getting redundant at this point, but thank you for watching. I'll speak to you soon.